show them the way you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Just shower the people you love with love and show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. Tell me what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone. Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about that squeaky wheel always getting the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love and show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if you only will. Oh, shower the people you love with love and show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Hey. I don't know if we've ever done this one before, but I'll sing it once so you'll know how it goes. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Let's try that again. First one. God is my source, God is my power, God is my power, everything. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks. For I give thanks for all my blessings. For all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything I need. Joy. Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, joy gives me everything I need. Joy gives me everything I need. Love, love gives me everything I need. Ain't it the truth?
Well, good morning. Welcome to Unity on the Avenue. We are blessed to have you all in the room, and we bless everyone who's over listening to Linda Martell Whitsitt, knowing that we're all in our right and perfect place today. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
And God is surely filling this sanctuary. So I'd like you to relax in your chair. Just rest your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Take in a few deep cleansing breaths. We'll release any worries and cares from this morning. Just feel the tensions in your body just melt away. We move to that sacred space within, where we feel the power and the presence of divine spirit that moves in, through, and as us. As we center in spirit, we attune to the rhythm of our souls. As we look and seek for the answer of what is God's will for us in our lives, we move deep within to that divine wisdom. We are open and receptive to divine guidance. We are willing to follow divine ideas for what is our highest purpose. The still, small voice from within gives us clarity and assurance that we are able to make good decisions and choices in our lives. And we are able and committed to following the answers that come to us. Divine Spirit is the life within us. It is the breath within us, the air that we breathe. It is the holy ground that we walk on. It is the light on our path. And from Isaiah 30:21, and when you look to your right, or when you look to your left, your ears shall hear a word from behind saying, "This is the way, walk in it." And we are so blessed for divine guidance. We are so thankful, and so it is. Amen.
Well, I didn't hear it, so I started to doubt you. And you couldn't feel it, so you just lost your way. We'll never find it if we don't get it out there. It's not love till you give it away. It's not a treasure you keep buried within you. It's not a bankroll to save up for a rainy day. It's not like a lifeboat you don't use till you sink in. It's not love till you give it away. Give it away. Oh, give it away. I'll give it away. It's not love till we give it away. And it's not peace till we make peace our mission. And it won't heal till we hear what they need to say. It's gonna take faith, 'cause it's such a contradiction. It's not love till we give it away. Give it away. I'll give it away. It's not love till we give it away. Just give it away. I'll give it away. It's not love till we give it away. Give it away.
Thank you, Robert. Perfect song for today's lesson. How do you give your love away? To people you don't like. How do you give your love away to them? Whoever they are. You know, over the past 3 weeks while we were talking about the 12 steps for everyone, and the fact that all of us are addicted to some things, our thoughts, our way of looking at the world, our own particular set of values. Those are the reasons that we do the things that we do. The reasons we say the things that we say. Even deeper than that, the reason we think the things that we think. And why we think the things that we think are right and, quote, they are wrong. So, reaching our own unique relationship with the divine within us and taking that relationship to a deeper level. That's sort of the important part to remember. Nobody's in the wrong place. Nobody has, quote, the wrong relationship with the divine. Nobody is supposed to be anywhere that they aren't. So it's an individual journey, but it's a journey that we take in the collective. It's a journey that we take with everyone in this world. Now, some people we're in intimate relationships with, then there's the level of friendships, then there's the level of acquaintanceships, and how we react in all of those. So I made a decision that I was going to combine steps 11 and 12 this week because I didn't want to be on step 12 for our big celebration next week. I wanted it to be a different talk than that. So we're going to talk about step 11 and 12 this week. Step 11 reads, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand God, praying only for the knowledge of God's will for us and the power to carry that out. And in some ways, I think that last part of the sentence, the power to carry that out, is the most important part of the sentence. Because we can all have the intention to do that, and that intention is powerful because that guides us in the direction we're choosing to go. But actually taking that step in the moment when we are confronted with them, the other, whoever that might be, and the ability to carry out our intention to be godlike in that particular interaction, that's one that many of us find challenging in the moment. And then step 12 reads, had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps. We tried to carry this message, and this says to alcoholics, but carry this message to all of our friends in the world. How do we tell our friends? How do we model for our friends? How do we live our spirituality for the people we're with? And how do we practice these principles in all of our affairs, which is the last line of the 12th step. Now, Castle, who we've talked about throughout this whole thing, remember, has 16 steps. And her final 6 steps have to do with making amends without unwarranted apology, seeking out affirming relationships and situations, healing our minds and bodies, finding our inner calling and life's lessons, and becoming aware that we are interrelated with all beings. So that's the way she chose to end the 12 steps. And her way is a little more specific in terms of how we do that, but we're still finding a way to live these steps. And, you know, once we finish this series, it would be nice if we could just say, I've done that. It's not how I find it works in my life. It's a continual practice that we are challenged with. Well, instead of saying we, I'm going to say I am challenged with practically every single day of my life, unless I spend the day at home with just Julio. And then if I've turned on the television, I may be challenged anyway. So how do we live these lives? How do we live these steps? And I also find it interesting that Richard Rohr, in his book on the 12 steps, picked Ephesians 4:22 and 23 to complement this. He says, you must put aside your old self, which has been corrupted by the following illusionary, is that the right word? Anyway, yeah, illusionary. Thanks, Clyde. I'm glad you're here. Illusionary desires. Your mind must be renewed by a spiritual revelation. So this says your mind. I'm going to say all of our minds. We're in a situation where we are forever looking at our interpretation of the truth, whatever that is, and then living that interpretation of the truth. And that's not just for Sunday morning. It's not just for spirit groups. It's not just for class. It's in whatever situations challenge you, challenge me the most. So in class last Monday, we were talking about a similar thing. And actually, Nina brought up the grace prayer that you've heard me quote several times, and she asked me to say it again and wanted a copy of it again. And for those of you who've never heard it or have not memorized it, this is the grace prayer. So your own word for God could be higher power. There was a time when we were saying Mother, Father, God. Some of us say Spirit. Pick your word for God. Into thy hands I commit my body, my mind, my soul, and my spirit. Heal what needs to be healed. Reveal what needs to be revealed. Teach me what I need to know and give me the strength to learn the lessons. Not an anthropomorphic God with hands, but the image of giving ourselves over to the truth that we believe. And giving that truth, surrendering, if you will, every bit of ourselves, our bodies. Those of us who have a few aches and pains get to surrender those on a regular basis. Our minds, that's the tricky part, because God knows they dart wherever they go. Our souls, which is an evolving process. We chose to come here so that our souls can evolve. There's no line of demarcation on that. It's not like we're trying to reach level 42 or 66 or 4. It's an evolutionary process. So our souls want to evolve. Our spirit is one with the universe always, but can we recognize that? So, heal what needs to be healed, whatever it is in your own life. What needs to be healed? And in case you don't even know what needs to be healed, reveal what needs to be revealed. And then the universe sends us all these wonderful sacred souls who help to teach us what we need to know. That when we see them, we don't always go, I'm so glad you're here. Come sit down and tell me what I need to know. At least in my life, that's not how it happens. And then we have to be strong enough to learn the lesson, however many times we need to learn it. When we choose to be brave with our love, when we choose to refuse to leave anyone outside the circle of care, that's when love becomes a revolutionary tool. We've tried the other things. War has not done it. Rules have not done it. Beating people, lashing them to the stake, burning them, beheading them, all the things we've done to people hasn't changed the world. We've made some progress, but if we truly want to live, quote, in heaven on earth, revolutionary love is the call of our times. And this is a very challenging time to be called to love each other. Now, most addicts, is what the book said, but I'm going to amend that to say most of us are all or nothing thinkers. We're dualistic thinkers. That's the normal way of thinking. This is right and this is wrong. It's what we were taught in school. It has its place in data-driven ways, in labeling, in rational thinking is a good thing for science and math and whether you turn left or right. Dualistic thinking is important there. However, dualistic thinking is at a complete loss with the big 6. God, there's no right or wrong there. Death, suffering, living in community, love, and infinity. There's not a right or wrong to any of those. There's not turn left, turn right. There's this big amorphous something that cannot be solved with dualistic thinking. Dualistic thinking doesn't work with any of the big six. When we're ego-driven, we know it all. We have all the answers to fixing things because we know. This is the way it is. Right, wrong, judged, done. So for as long as humanity has been thinking and living together in community, there's the way we've always done it. To move to a new level of consciousness requires us to live in a way that we haven't before. And you know what? If we knew the exact answers, they would probably be wrong. Because we don't know. We haven't been there. We haven't lived there. But we know it requires oneness and love. It's what we teach in Unity. Reading over and studying what the books that we used brought, it reminded me of Harry Potter. You guys all know who Harry Potter is, right? And it reminded me of the Sorting Hat. Do you remember the Sorting Hat from when you first go to Hogwarts and they put the hat on your head and you're either going to be Hufflepuff or Slytherin or Gryffindor or Ravenclaw? That's the way we've been doing it. The question is, when I look at you, what category do I put you in? When I look at the person on the street, when I was at my granddaughter's volleyball games for the last 3 days, I find myself looking at individuals in the Coliseum up by 70, and my mind immediately goes, oh, this is someone from a small rural school, probably a farmer, probably not so well educated, not so well dressed. That's my sorting hat, deciding what category everyone fits into. As we want to live in a place of love, do we need the sorting hat? We're always going to recognize this person's skin color is different than mine. This person's hairstyle is different than mine. This person has a mullet. What does a mullet hairstyle mean to you? This person has beautiful, well-groomed, shiny hair. What does that mean? What does the sweater or shirt that they have on, the kind of shoes they wear, the kind of vehicle they arrived to park at the Coliseum? How can we love the unlovable when we've already sorted them into a category? When we've already decided who they are? Now, during the course of my lifetime, we have gotten much better with laws and rules to encourage less discrimination. I can't say no discrimination. You know, if you're American Indian, if you're black, if you're gay, life is better now than it was when I was born. It isn't perfect, but it has improved. So we've learned to tolerate, but not necessarily to love. If our goal is love universal oneness, universal acceptance, it's not that we have to lose our sight, but we have to lose the judgment that goes with what that sight tells us. We have yet learned to respect the people in the flyover states, the heartland, the laborers, the maintenance men and women, the garbage workers, the farmers, the people without college degrees, perhaps even without high school degrees. Our collective survival instinct as a species. It's the instinct that preserves life itself, and yet these people were the essential workers of the pandemic. College professors could stay home. Scientists could stay home. Can you fix a car? Can you repair your plumbing? Can you fix the roof? Do you want to haul the garbage away from the front of your curb? And it suggested that the word educated is out of touch if it refers solely to college-educated people. Everyone is educated. The fact that an electrician can solve your electrical problems, which would kill us if we touched the wires, did not require a college degree. What we find hardest to understand, what we simply can't grasp, are life circumstances which seem incomprehensible to us. The people we struggle with, the ones we might even despise right now because of the way they voted, the ones who despise us as college-educated, woke people that they don't understand. We have to move past that. And it often requires repeated exposure so that we're challenged to have it truly sink in. Those same people worry that the educated elite are hostile to policing, obsessed with race and gender, opposed to oil and gas and guns. They can't understand us. They are afraid of us. We have chosen to live from this sense of separateness. We grow through our lives, our years on this earth, thinking of ourselves as separate. My house, my lot, my family. This sense of separateness basically causes every stupid, they use the word sinful, silly thing we ever do. The little separate self takes offense when people don't show us the proper respect. The separate self lies, steals, and does unkind things to other people. When we're separate, everything becomes about protecting and defending ourselves. That Maintaining the privilege of separateness can consume our lives. I live in the suburbs where it's safe. You live in the city. It's not so safe. And yet, there was a murder in my parking lot when I first moved there, in the suburbs. A man committed suicide in the garage three doors down from my garage, in the suburbs. There's no difference. We're alike. We go through our lives, our years on this earth, choosing separate lives. And when we're separate, everything becomes about protecting and defending ourselves. The whole message of the Bible, the message of unity, the message is oneness in love. Radical union with the divine, with our neighbors, with strangers, even radical oneness with ourselves. Whatever separates from one another, nationality, religion, ethnicity, education, economics, language, isn't ultimately real. Yet we pout and complain and resent and fear. We can choose to live in union. Every time we do something with respect, every time we cross the invisible line, every time we live in sympathy with others, every time we choose compassion, every time we choose caring, every service we indulge in for others, then we're operating in union. How do we make amends for the way we've learned to live? How do we make amends for being data-driven, fact-checked, accurate information available 24/7? If those adjectives don't apply to someone, we think they're somehow flawed. Now, does that apply to divine order? Surrendering? Does it apply to God's in charge of everything? One of the pains in the neck, one of the truths about being in spirituality, is we have to live it before we can teach it. And every time I fail, and I do my best to make amends. I do my best to ask forgiveness. When we choose to be brave with our love, when we choose to refuse to leave anyone outside of our circle of care, that's what love becomes revolutionary. Valerie Kaur, the woman who wrote the book we studied a year ago, says, revolutionary love. That's the call of our times. So how do we do that? She compares it to the labor of childbirth. You stop to breathe and rest, and then you push again. Then you stop to breathe and rest, and then you push again. We may not live to see the world we're laboring for, and that's okay. When we labor with love, we glimpse the world as it could be, and we see that it will be beautiful. every bit of it. We can see in our mind's eye a world where people cooperate and live together. Some of us have lived in neighborhoods that were like that in the past, where the neighbors took care of each other, where they showed up. And that is a beautiful microcosm of what can be in the macrocosm. Prayer and meditation, trusting in your part in the labor. What is yours to do? Perhaps it's as simple as finding a different way of processing life. A contemplative way of living. Rather than our own private needs, hurts, angers, and memories, that is too small a lens to see truthfully, wisely, or deeply. Remember, we don't really see things as they are. We see things as we are. And we are invited to see prayer as a positive widening of our lens. It's not going to go from here to here, but it can expand wherever it is. Being willing to let the divine within change us. It's so easy to see how someone else ought to change. The question becomes, how should we change? Our hurts, needs, and perspectives are still going to be our central reference point. But we can decide to let the divine, to let God help us with the solution. Prayer can empty the mind and fill the heart. Prayer is never about changing God, but about our own changing in the process. Surrendering to the higher power, the power of our higher self. It has largely to do with how our mind processes information, and then how the heart processes information. The body will normally come along. The mind is the normal control tower. Our mind's what needs to be educated first. People's willingness to find God in their own struggle with life. Let God change them. That's our deepest and truest form of surrendering to God's will. The heartfelt desires, intention to do the will of God, in fact, is in itself the truest will of God. So, take a deep breath. We simply are still. Stillness. Listening. Openness. Openness to what we hear. Openness to what we see with our own eyes. Breathe and then push. Labor, change a little bit. Stop and breathe. Rest. Push. And change a little bit. There is no race. There is no prize for who comes in first. Openness, willingness, listening, pausing to breathe. Pushing forward yet again. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is trust. In the stillness of this moment, there is love. Breathe. Rest. Push forward yet again. Breathing deeply. Finding the strength and the power within yourself to simply do what is yours to do. We are not all called by the same call, and we each have a call. Listening to your own inner divine voice. And simply knowing resting and being willing to push again. We chose to live in this time. We said, take me, I'll go, I can do it. And we can. We are grateful and thankful for the opportunity to be here, to do what is ours to do. So we simply say thank you. And so it is. And so we let it be. Amen.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. We are one now, 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 we are one now.
So this is, quote, our opportunity to give to support Unity on the Avenue. We haven't mentioned it for a while, but we did get a check from King Soopers. So if you are shopping at King Super and if you're King Super's number is registered. Remember that we get a check, I don't know, twice a year, something like that, from King Super. It was what, $116, I think, something like that. So we are grateful for everyone who does that. We're grateful to people who are continuous supporters through all kinds of means, and we're grateful for the gifts we receive on Sunday morning. So I invite you to join in our offertory affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. And it returns to me.
So last Sunday we had 4 children. We got to bless them. We can bless them in absentia. We can bless our own inner children, inner child. If you have a whole family in there, you can bless all your children. And we can bless the children in this world, particularly those who are living in difficult times. So, children, you are loved, special, and important. We see you and bless the divine beings that you are. And our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. Love gives me everything I need.